This is a 2000 Toyota 4Runner SR5, and today we're going to review it. Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are
Two Guys in a Ride.
And say, Nate, tell us what we're taking a look at today.
Hey, today folks, we are taking a look at Rob's 2000 Toyota 4Runner SR5.
That's right, but before we get into that, if you want to keep up to date with all the new cars, trucks, and SUVs, and you want to find out how to operate all the technology that's built into them, plus you like cool collector car stories,
take a moment to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification up above so you never miss a video.
That's right. So what do you say, Nate?
Hey, let's go for a ride. All right, so today we are out in Rob's Toyota 4Runner 2000. And what a beautiful piece of machinery it is, let me tell you. It looks like it's he just picked it up off of the dealer's lot. You'll see that in the videos. Yeah, you can grin. You found a great deal.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that was it. I couldn't pass it up, so it was just too nice.
You know, it's in terms of the ride, this particular one has oversized tires on it.
Yeah.
From what would have come originally, the ride is very nice. You feel the bumps as you would in an SUV.
Yeah.
So that's not untypical.
Maybe a little more exaggerated than normal with the little. It's actually two sizes larger of the tires, but
right. But still, once you're out on the highway,
yeah,
it's a comfortable ride.
Oh yeah.
Getting in and out, super easy just because it's elevated off the ground.
And you got the running boards,
grab handles, and then you got the running boards. Exactly.
Yep.
Now, all of the controls are really easy to get to because there's like 4.
There's a few more than that.
Basically, there's an odometer, and then there's your manual air conditioning, single zone, good enough for everybody, air conditioning. And then you have your stereo. Now, the stereo was obviously an upgrade. It had a CD player, a tape deck, and AM/FM radio.
Yep.
So it had all those things. Which is very nice, and it actually works quite well.
The CD player still works, and the tape player still works. 20 years on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parking and maneuvering. Well, there's no backup camera, so this is called old-fashioned. Learn how to back up properly. You've got mirrors. You've got the little inserted side mirrors,
and you have this
and
center mirror, and you actually have to physically turn and look.
Yes.
And that's not a bad thing.
Nope.
I wish more people did that, even with their backup cameras.
You're supposed to.
Yes.
This
one makes you do that.
Yes, this one makes you do that. Let's put it that way. But I mean, it's just wow. I'm so impressed with, and again, you'll see this, but the inside and exterior of this are just pristine. And what number owner are you? You're like second owner.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
Yep.
So and I think it was driven by the little old church lady.
Less than 10,000 miles a year. And
she never parked next to anybody else.
It looks like it.
Man, was a beautiful find. Yep. And they're out there.
Yeah.
These cars are out there. We did my 2014 Lincoln. That was a really good buy. And I absolutely love this. You just got to look for a while. You got to be a little picky and keep looking. Anyways, sadly, I'm going to pull over and I'm going to let Rob drive.
I get to drive my car.
His own car. I can't believe he let me drive first.
I just like the fact that we don't have to take it back to the dealer.
There we go. We can take this one home.
Yes.
Well, you can take this one home.
Yes, and I will. Okay, well, it's kind of hard to tell you what it's like because I've driven this so much, but it just feels good. It feels natural. But we talk about interior sound and quietness. Overall, it's fairly quiet. And again, you got to go back to 20 years ago, and even judging against more modern cars, it's still pretty darn quiet. It's not bad at all.
It's well insulated.
Yeah. Safety systems included. It has lights, it has a horn, and it has brakes.
And airbags.
And there's a rear airbag right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a wind bag.
There's 3 in the front.
So you do have the 2 airbags here, and that's all you get. The rest of you passengers have to fend for themselves. It is what it is. Again, it's 20 years old, so it wasn't bad for the time. You know, acceleration, well, we're kind of in town right now. We could have gone to the outskirts, but I didn't. You know, it's a fairly heavy vehicle. We'll talk about that in my exterior review. And it's only 180 some horsepower, but it's got 200 some foot-pound of torque. So it's not a brute, but it will move this vehicle pretty well. It's not bad at all. Interior fit and finish. You know, Toyota, they nailed it back then. It's very simple design. As Nathan said, not a lot of gadgets and gauges and things like that, but it's what is here fits extremely well. It all ties together, it all flows. You've got your HVAC, you've got your radio down here, and then you've got your couple of you got your ashtray and outlets and stuff down below where they need to be, and it just fits and it just works. So, you know, it is what it is. It's plain, it's simple, and that may be one of the reasons why 20 years on, almost 200,000 miles, it's still here. How's it back there, Nate?
You know, it's very comfortable. I like this. It has the longer bench seat at the bottom, good support on the back.
Okay.
And so it supports underneath your leg, better than I've seen it in even some of the modern ones.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's very comfortable. I mean,
one of the downsides to the back seat versus a newer one, you can't really recline that upper back,
right,
like the newer models can. But you know, that has only come along in that, say what, the past 10 years, 12 years maybe.
Yep.
So its competitors at that time, and I'll talk about this, they weren't offering that either. So yeah, this was very, very competitive for its time, and I challenge you to find many other of its competitors from the year 2000 that are still on the road today and still looking this good.
This good.
Yeah. So up next, my exterior review, and then later Nathan will take you for a tour on the inside and show you all the technology that this does not have, because it's tactile, it's moving things and sliding levers and twisting knobs, and that's the way it was meant to be. Stay tuned. This is the 3rd generation of the 4Runner that ran from model year 1996 to 2002. Now, competition in 2000, when this particular one was made, was the Ford Explorer, the Nissan Pathfinder, the Chevy Blazer, and the Jeep Cherokee. To give you an idea of how steady sales have been, in 2000 they sold 111,797 of these. In 2019, 131,864. Now, there are 3 trim levels. There's the base 4x2 starting at $22,288. The SR5 V6 4x2 starting at $26,308, and the limited V6 4x2 starting at $34,318. Of course, all of them are also available in 4x4 versions. This one is presented here in Millennium Silver Metallic, and it has a gray interior. This 4Runner is powered by a 3.4 liter 24-valve V6 producing 183 horsepower, 217 pound-foot of torque, and is driven with a 4-speed automatic transmission with overdrive. And as I said before, my particular 4Runner is the 2-wheel drive version. Now, out front we see it does have the nice chrome grille. You do have the auto off headlights, and they are aero composite halogen headlights. You do get also on this one, the SR5, you get the chrome bumper, you have the fog lights, and I like the dark gray lower bumper rub strip with the vents, and also behind the cover you do have a tow hook, and it does have skid plates as well. Let's take a look along the side. Along the side, this is built with fully galvanized steel body material. You also do have speed sensing hydraulic power assist rack and pinion steering. Now up front, there's an independent double wishbone suspension with coil springs and gas pressurized shocks with an anti-roll bar. Out back, there are rear coil springs with a rigid axle with multi-link suspension with anti-roll bar and gas pressurized shocks. These are 16-inch alloy wheels wrapped in P265/70 SR16 black sidewall tires. You also do have the running boards. I like the chrome piece along the bottom, and it does have front and rear mud flaps, and it does have the wheel well moldings with the bright work. And you do have power remote heated folding side view door mirrors. You also have the body color door handles, and it has keyless remote on the actual key fob. And I actually do have both original sets of keys with this vehicle. Also up top, you do have the roof rack, and you do have the crossbars as well. Let's take a look out back. Okay, out back we do have the rear cargo lift gate, and it does have a power window. I'll show you that in just a minute. It does have a defroster and of course the wiper. You do have incandescent rear tail lights. You have the rear step bumper. You have the trailer hitch and harness, and I like that it has the chrome bumper, and then of course it has a single dual exhaust, and of course you get this aero vent here to help keep the window clean. I'll show you that power window right there. That's awesome. Takes it down, but it won't put it back up. In order to put it back up manually, there's a switch on the dashboard, but you can come in with a key and turn it to the right and hold it, and that will actually put that window back up in place. Let's talk about the cargo area. Okay, inside the cargo area, the maximum interior cargo with the second row folded is 79.8 cubic feet, and then you do see it as you have it here, as you see it, with the seats in place, it's actually 44.6 cubic feet, and there is a little covered panel with additional storage there, and this actually does have the original cargo cover still in place as well. Let's talk about the dimensions. Okay, on the dimensions, front track is 59.3 inches, rear track 58.9, overall length 183.3, and it rides on a wheelbase of 105.3 inches. Overall width is 66.5 inches, overall height 67.5, and it has a ground clearance of 9.8 inches. The approach angle is 32 degrees, and the departure angle is 26 degrees. Now, the approach angle means how steep of a ramp or a rock or a log a vehicle can meet without scraping the front end. The departure angle is similar to the approach angle, except of course related rather to leaving an obstacle instead of approaching it. Now there is something also called the breakover angle, and the breakover angle relates to how big of a thing a vehicle can actually drive over without getting stuck. The breakover angle is related to the ground clearance, but not exactly the same thing. Okay, curb weight of the vehicle, 3,600 pounds, maximum payload, 1,650 pounds, has a turning radius of 19.1 feet, has a maximum towing capacity of 5,000 pounds. Fuel economy, 17 city, 21 highway, about what it was for everything like this in 2000. Its basic warranty at that time was 3 years, 36,000 miles. It had a corrosion perforation warranty of 60 months and unlimited mileage. And then it also had a powertrain warranty of 60 months and 60,000 miles. That seems kind of really low nowadays on the mileage, but that's how it was 20 years ago. So basically, in summary, if you don't require the brute towing power of a V8, you'll have trouble finding a better mid-size sport utility than the 4Runner. It's a textbook example of the insightful, thoughtful, and comprehensive care in design and engineering. It's just everything about it is correctly done. Add to that Toyota's reputation for reliability and durability, and you've got some solid reasons to check out the 4Runner. Okay, now it's time to check in with Nathan as he shows us the interior of this 2000 Toyota 4Runner SR5. If you haven't already done so, please take a minute, give us a like, and click on that subscribe button down below. So what do you say, Nate? Take it away.
Stepping on the inside of the 2000 Toyota 4Runner SR5, you're going to find that gray cloth interior, but it's also speckled with blue, which I really like. You can see that here on the door insert in the handle, and then you can see it a little bit better here on the seats. Get that little blue pattern going. And I really like that. It really adds to the car there. We get a much better picture of what it looks like. On the door itself, of course, you've got your door handle. You do have auto up and down on the front windows, and then manual power windows. No auto up and down, in other words, on the rear windows, but they are power. And then you have your mirror control, as well as some storage down here, and one of your speakers. Now, this still has the original 4Runner mats that came with it. They're just in incredible shape. I just absolutely love this truck. All right, moving on to the driver's seat down here, you've got an 8-way manually adjustable seat. So you have this that tilts the cushion up and down. So that's 2 ways. You have the back recline, which tilted 2 ways. You have this pull bar up here, which adjusts the seat forward or backwards. Then you had this lumbar bar right here. Let me see if I can get this right. There we go. So it's just 2 positions. This was off and this was on. Okay. Now, in addition to that, the headrests are adjustable. You just pull them and they'll tilt down or they'll go back. Plus you can raise or lower them. And on the passenger seat, you had 4-way manual adjustment. So you have the tilt lever right here, which just tilts your seat up and down. And then you had the grab bar in the front here that allowed you to slide the seat forward or backwards. Okay, now, the headrest, like I said, works the same on the passenger seat as it does the driver's seat. But other than that, look at the shape of these seats. That's what I mean by it looks like this thing is just pulled off the lot brand new. Now, coming up here, you do have a little footrest back up here. And then you do have down here, you have access to your fuse panel, which I like when they make that just nice and handy. And then there are some dummy buttons up here which are not on this vehicle. You do have your dashboard dimming control right here, air vent control. This does have a tilting steering wheel right here. Okay, now let's take a step in. All right, so on the dashboard here, you know, you've got 4 basic windows here. You've got your engine temperature along with some dummy lights, your RPM, your speedometer along with your trip meter, and then your fuel gauge along with some more dummy lights. And then down here you've got your gear selector indicator, and then some more dummy lights that would show up right here. The steering wheel itself is leather covered. It's very nice, but you notice all the buttons are missing from a modern steering wheel. So what you have down here is your cruise control. If you don't recognize that from a Toyota, you should, because it's the same. We drove a 2020 Avalon. Had the same one, so they found something that works. It works really well. It works consistently. Over here, you've got your headlamp switch as well as your turn signals. And then over here on the right, you have got your windshield wiper controls, including the windshield wiper for the rear window and the sprayer. All right, it is a keyed ignition. So if you have never done this before, you just put the key in, turn it, and let it start up. Moving over here to the center stack, this is what we had. If you've not seen this before, this is what we had before we had infotainment screens and flat screens in cars that did everything. So up here, you've got a clock centrally located. You got a big hazard button. You got 2 air vents, which are easy to control and move around. And then down here, you had a defroster button. And then Toyota always had a button where you could get slight adjustments on your, I believe it was on your, it had to do with how much fuel air mixture there was. Anyways, one of the buttons, you know, one push down gave you power, gives you a little more acceleration. I know I've seen this on Camrys, older Camrys before as well. And then back out was just normal. Over here, you have your power up and down rear window. And then this is the indicator for your passenger airbag. Now down here, this may be confusing for some, but this is an air conditioning system. All right, this is what it looked like before we had dual zone climate control. So you have a simple on-off AC button. This is recirculatory. You flip the lever over, you got fresh air. Fan speed was just a manual click. And then, of course, you see the different colors here. That's still the same. Okay. And then over here, you had your different modes. Okay. Moving on down. Now, this did have an upgraded sound system in there. Still, I believe, 4 speakers. But it does have a cassette tape and a CD player and AM/FM radio. And this was simply your power on and your volume. You use that to tune. Use that to eject your CD. Use that to eject your cassette. You could have Dolby sound on the cassette. That was a premium feature. Okay? And then you would just select whichever mode you wanted. And the screen, of course, just lights up in black digital letters. Easy to read. Coming on down here, you do have an ashtray. Okay? And you do have your cigarette or cigar lighter. Down here, you did have dual power outlets, which I find interesting. I don't see that very often, even on 2000s where there were 2 right in the front. And that's just really neat. And you could actually take this out and you could, look at the shape of that, folks. Looks like Rob's only had about 1 cigar in here. No, I'm joking. But it's very unused. Now, in addition to that, there is a wee bit of storage in here. But there is a lip right here. So it would hold something small and prevent it from coming out, or a pen. Okay. Coming down from there, you have just a straight gear shifter. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, and low. And then you did have an overdrive button down here. Okay. Moving back a little bit further, you have dual cup holders. Continuing, even back in 2000, they had this pass-through in there, which it was not on all cars. Okay, you do have a little bit of storage down here with a little lip on the edge. Of course, this is called the handbrake. If you haven't used those before, this is your emergency brake. And then, if you went even back further in here, there's another little storage. Would have been, I believe, for Kleenex boxes. Right in here. Okay, so let's take a look at the center armrest itself. If I just pull it open, we won't dig down there, but it is fairly deep. Okay, there are no auxiliary plugins down there, no 12 volt or USB or anything, but narrow but deep. So good storage for all those little things that you need. All right, coming on over to the glove compartment. Simple pull, and you get the glove compartment open, and it's ample sized. And then if you come up here, you got your window visors. Now, interesting thing was, we discovered this, Rob discovered this visor was optional. You could have ordered it along with the package, or you could also order it separately. But they do come out here, and of course they are not telescoping. Okay, as would be very normal on a 2000. It is actually, though, a lit mirror. And of course, the driver's side is not vain enough to have its own mirror, so they just have to use this one. All right, in the center, you've got, of course, your sunglass storage right here. And this could also be used for a garage door opener. This was an old system where they use it where when you would push it up and you had a little give, and then those little rods you saw would push the button on a very physical way to have, your home link buttons. Okay, this is just a standard rear view mirror with a day-night switch. Okay. Let's go take a look at the second row. All right, so stepping in the back row of the Toyota 4Runner SR5, you're going to find the same cloth door panels and door handles. You've got your window power button. You got one of your 4 speakers, and then another pocket storage. Okay, coming in here, one of the things I just think is so neat, take a look at just the quality of the seats, the carpet, the floor, the original floor mats. I mean, it's really hard to find a car in that good of a shape after 20 years. I'm just still amazed by it every time I step in. Both seats had seat back pockets, but the passenger seat had an additional side pocket right here, which I don't think I've ever seen before. That's something new. Hey, then you did have a pull down cup holder right here. And then, of course, you had a secondary ashtray. Hey, now, in terms of the seats, let me just get in here. And we'll talk about headroom and legroom. All right, so headroom, gosh, I've got, you know, 1.5 to 2 inches, not even a problem. Up here, this is where the seat was when I was driving, and I've got a good 4 inches of space. So a very spacious area to sit in. The thing I was commenting on the ride about the seats is you can see how they're angled up. They're not flat. They're actually angled up, which I like because it gives so much more support to your leg. Hey, so it's a fairly large seat, comfortable back, so slightly bolstered. There is no armrest, but they're very comfortable. Your armrest was putting your arm between the two seats like this. That's how you did it. So let me show you a little bit about putting the seats up and down. To put the seats down, the first thing you did was you would take this little lever right here and just pull up. Okay, and that would stop there. Then you would take and push on this little button on the left and slide the headrest out all the way. And then they actually built in slots for it. So you would just put it in there, and then there was a button right at the top, big knob. You just pull it, and then the whole seat lays flat. So you could fold the seats down. It was just done a little differently. Okay, so really nice. You'd have a lot of room in here. All right, so talk about, you know, just attention to detail. I know we talked about the fit and finish were really well done, and they are. But here's an attention to detail that I've not seen in another cover for a rear seat. So if I lift this up here, man, this is just the back flap. You notice these two little pieces? I bet you're guessing already what they're for, and you'd be correct. They go right on here and snap in. Oh, that one there, and then of course I won't snap these ones, but there's actually a separate flap. They're divided. Okay, and then you would have this one hooked up here. Okay, now I'm just gonna hold that, but you notice what it does. It prevents any sunlight from getting in and prevents anyone from getting an angled view from your passenger window right into your stuff. So just a little attention to detail, the little things that we notice on cars that are just really neat. I think that's one of them. So overall, I'm jealous. I like this truck. Someday I'm going to steal it when Rob goes on vacation. Beautiful truck. So we hope you've enjoyed this video and seen a 20-year-old vehicle in excellent shape, inside and out. Thanks for watching.
So that's the review of my 2000 Toyota 4Runner SR5. And I know haters are going to hate, and they're going to say, oh, it's a waste of an SUV if it's not four-wheel drive. But you know what? It's two-wheel drive. And yes, I live in Minnesota, and yeah, it's not any good in the snow because it is only two-wheel drive. But you know what? It's absolutely beautiful. It's fun to drive. It's a blast. And I love it. And if you've got one like this, or you've got one older and in better shape, leave some comments down below. Or if you've even got an old car that you found and you just love, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be practical. You just have to love it. Give us a like and leave some comments down below. Thanks for watching. Okay, my favorite thing of my 4Runner is this right here. See this rear window opening. I love it. You can roll that all the way down. That's fantastic. It's great when you've got the windows open and the sunroof open and you get all of that air coming through here. It's fantastic. That's my favorite thing. All right, so my very favorite thing is the cruise control on here, because this is, like I said in the review, this is the same as we just saw on a 2020 Toyota Avalon. It's a simple setup, but it works effectively. I've never been in one that doesn't, but it's just interesting to note that that was in Toyotas at least as of 2000, maybe before. But that's my favorite thing, seeing that right there. And you want to find out about all the technology that's built into most of them, take a moment to hit that subscribe button, and I ran right over your part.
You did.